I got asked this week about AI support for language learning, and I hadn't thought much about it, so I took this chance to build a small app around language learning and tried to personalize it and make it fun for the classroom. And to be clear, there are a lot of services out there now that use AI to support language learning and translation, and some of them do really hard things like work with speaking and listening and dialect and tonality. But I just wanted to make a basic example and see how it worked. So I'll show you what it does and then show you how to build it and personalize it for your classroom. So it's an app that lets a student choose their language, their fluency level, and generates a paragraph of text. But what is unique about this is it generates a paragraph of text based on the bio. In this case, I've put in the bios of students who are in the course. So I generated these from ChatGPT, but presumably if you were running this, tell your students what it's about, and then it's going to AI and have them write introductions. So then what the AI does is it generates in that target language a translation of what the other student said in this case. And then the student who's taking this will translate that passage and then try to identify from that which student we're talking about. And so I got this paragraph of text, a little bit of German, and some of these were a little hard for me though, like I didn't know what malen meant, so I put eat. And the other one, this sentence was a little difficult, and I didn't know what that meant at first. And sure enough, I got a couple of these wrong. I like to eat should be I like to paint. The phrase to be happy is not present in the original, so I guess this translates to I look forward to meeting new friends and not it makes me happy too. But I did get the student right. I did get Jasmine. So let's take a look at how to build this. Like I said, the first thing we did is uploaded the students and told the AI what this document is. Then in the first phase, we added a couple fields for the student to choose a language in a radio box and the fluency level in another radio box. And here's the prompt. It says, I'd like to assess my reading fluency while also trying to identify my classmates whose bio you've given me. And that should be, this should be bios I've provided. Please choose a random student from the document. Please make sure it's random. And generate a short paragraph of text written in the first person and based on the classmate in the target language. Do not tell me the student's name. And in this case, we're using CEFR standards, which I didn't know much about, but it's a standard for what level of language you're at. We're asking AI to use CEFR standards to write at that level and generate the paragraph without any preamble or postamble. And so that's when it generates the paragraph. That's, in this case, this paragraph here. And then I have a phase where I provide my translation and ask it to assess it. So here's a long text field where I'd put in my translation, which I did right here. And then another drop down to select which classmate of the 5 I think this is. And here's my second prompt. So I provide the AI the translation of the paragraph and my guess about which classmate it was. And I ask it to assess what percentage of the text I've translated correctly and list areas for improvement. And if I have chosen the wrong classmate, tell me which one is correct. And then finally, I wanted to play around with scoring a little bit. So I asked the AI to determine if I have identified the right classmate, and that would give me full credit for this exercise. So that's how I built it. We can try it again. We can try a different language here. So let's try Spanish and beginner. And I'll do my best to translate this without knowing much Spanish. So that was a significant challenge. I didn't know most of this. I did my best, and I don't know what classmate, so we're just going to guess it's a boy. I think we're between, let's just pick Alex. I got a few things right, and then a few things wrong. Not art and having fun. It's skateboarding and making short films with my friends. Editing video. Yeah, there's a lot of kind of video editing language that I didn't know much about. Nothing about roommates. So I was about 50% accurate, which seems about right. And this was actually about Mateo, not Alex. So I didn't pass in this case. But that's a slightly personalized way to use language translation for an early exercise in your classroom. It could be adapted to not talk about particular students, maybe about the lesson from that week or a historical figure or things like that, whatever tailors it to your classroom. So that was my attempt to work with language, AI-powered language translation apps for the classroom.